Well, let us just get this started. It is I, Shisui Entertainment. You guys can call me simply Logic or even Logic. Who cares? Whatever. Now, this story starts off basically with young Midoriya. She's 5 years old, and basically she's wondering if she'll get a quirk like her father's or a quirk like her mother's. Which, her father, she's never seen a telekinesis quirk that powerful. It's so powerful, in fact, it got him to the number 2 spot in the hero ranking. Now, basically, her dad, although he can only use his full power only if he had an emotional break, but Now, her father's hero name is, I was gonna say Mob, since she's gonna have an ability similar to Mob's, but whatever. So she was hoping that she would get something like her father's, because her mother's isn't really that powerful. It's only a simple telekinesis. I would say like a 4th generation. I don't really know what generation of My Hero are in, but whatever. But it's a weak telekinesis quirk. So she was hoping to get her father's instead of her mother's, though, on how bad that was. Whatever. But yeah. Now, when her quirk awoken, basically, she Thanos snapped something out of existence. Now, this is an ability that, the Terrible Tornado has. If anything, has a weaker psychic ability, or basically weaker psychic, how do I say this? A weaker psychic connection, I'm pretty sure. If anything does this basically has weaker psychic abilities than her, then, she can legit, Thanos snap it, and it would just disappear. Yeah, that's an ability she has. Yeah. But anyway, basically, I'm gonna, have that be a 2 times a year use, because, I don't want, actually, I'll just, never mind, but I'm probably not gonna have Deku do that all the time, because that's just too broken. Come on, if, legit nobody in the My Hero universe, barely anybody has a telekinesis quirk, so Deku can legit just walk around, snap, you're gone, snap, you're gone, basically, so that's how that works. But yeah, which basically, it was her favorite dog, so she started to cry. Now, Inko's I don't know what type of quirk that is, but it definitely isn't mine. So they would go to the quirk doctor, and basically she would start to lift things in the office. And the doctor's like, that is impressive. Now, basically, they would leave this. Sorry if my voice sounds weird. I just woke up a few minutes ago. I did attempt to make the What If Deku had the Rinnegan, which I will do that. It's just that I need time. I am still creating the 6, I'll say the 6, I'm going to call it the 6 heroic paths. That cringe there. But, I'm just, making those. I have 5 more of them to go, so. Or, I have 4 more of them to go, but, yeah, that is hard. So, yeah. Now, anyway, basically, Deku, she would go to school and she would tell them that she has the strongest quirk in the entire classroom. And everyone's like, what's your quirk? With basically Deku, she would start to lift everything in the room, since she does have, she is a prodigy, a quirk prodigy. Don't really know the difference, but I'm pretty sure, you get connected to your quirk faster. But yeah, basically she lifts everything, desk, chairs, teachers, pencils, and people, because she has a powerful psychic telekinesis ability. I don't know why I keep saying psychic. Telekinesis, basically. Now, basically, Deku, she has a combination of Mob, Psycho, I'm pretty sure that's how you say him, and the Terrible Tornado's abilities. So, of course, you're going to see, Deku create barriers, fly, and other stuff like that. But, basically, Deku has the combined abilities of the Terrible Tornado and Mob Psycho. So, yeah. Now, basically, after showcasing her quirk, everyone would think she's strong until Bakugo awakens his quirk, where then people are like, explosions are way cooler than telekinesis quirk, and they would just, stop giving Deku clout. But she's getting angry, and then she would challenge Bakugo to a fight, but the teacher's saying, nah, that's not, yeah, you guys can't do that. But basically Deku's saying, why not? She's starting to stomp around, a temper tantrum. which they said like because it's a law and you could actually hurt someone. And then Deku was like, so? And then she would basically grab Bako, lifting him up as Baku's, letting off little explosions that really won't do anything. She's like, pathetic. And she would just eat this guy out the window. I'm just kidding, but yeah. She would just drop him on his butt. And then she's like, you see, his explosion quirk is nothing compared to mine. And everyone's like, oh, right. Actually, I'm pretty sure Mob has like every psychic ability within the entire show. I'm just gonna give Deku like every ability, like telekinesis, telepathy, and other things, like teleportation. But whatever. Now, anyway, basically after showcasing her power, she'd be like, so, which one do you still think is the strongest? With the teacher saying you can't do this, Izuku. And she's like, I just did though. And then they're like, this girl is gonna be a handful. And everyone would be like, yeah, your quirk is powerful, but Bakugo's is flashier. Which, basically, Deku, she gets even madder. And she was like, whatever. And she would run off. Now, then Deku, she would start to train her quirk for, I would say, the next... I was just going to say the 6th... Yeah, I'll say 6th grade. Now, something happened. Izuku hasn't really been growing. She hit the... Hold on, guys, pause this. I'm not gonna say stops growing, but she barely starts to grow at around, I would say, 5 feet. So, yeah. That's gonna be Deku's, actually, no. I'll say 4'9". I don't really know its heights or anything, but Deku's just short, okay? She got so powerful that it stunted her growth, okay? That's all I'm gonna tell you. So, basically, after doing this, people, they wouldn't really see her as anything special every time she moved up the grade with people she doesn't know. And people would try to pick with her. But she would, body their asses quickly and, dispose of their corpses. I'm just kidding. But she would just get rid of them. And she especially hated when people talked about her height. So, yeah. Basically, sorry for that voice crack there. So after that, Deku, I'm pretty sure I put her like around 6th grade, so yeah. So, basically Deku, she would begin to train her quirk some more, and we're gonna have another time skip. Now Deku is around, she's in middle school now. It's the end of, actually I'm gonna say it's the end of middle school. So basically Deku, she just stopped growing. She hit 5 foot now, and she hasn't grown an inch since 8th grade. Or 7th grade, so yeah, she's stuck at this height. Now she's really mad. So, yeah. Basically, did I say the beginning or the end? I'm pretty sure I said the beginning. But yeah, so basically Bakugo and his goons, after Bakugo, his explosives got stronger, he would start trying to mess with Deku again. But Deku basically flicking this kid, outside of the city. I'm just kidding, but Deku could do that if she wanted to. But I guess she would basically just, increase the gravity around them or just, push them down with her psychokinesis, because that is what she has. But she has all the telekinesis abilities, so whatever. But she would just, hold them in place, as basically she would walk off, saying that she's light years away from their string, and not so with her. And because she's in a bad mood, because the doctors just told her that she will not be growing past her current height. So, yeah. She's like, I look like a child compared to them. And basically, in a fit of anger, she would turn around after one of them said that she was an ugly, tiny witch, and then she would flick that kid out of existence. I'm just kidding, but she would basically just, throw him against a tree. And she's like, who's ugly? And she would turn around cracking her fist in a generic, scary anime face. But yeah. No, they were all just, start to run away with Bakugo saying, you cowards. And he'd get up and he's like, I said that you were a witch. I was going to start to let off explosions. No, Deku's like, oh. As she would start to march toward him, and that march would turn into a sprint, and that sprint would turn into, I just said sprint. That march would turn into a jog, and that jog would turn into a sprint. Basically, Deku, she basically balls up her fist, and she punches Bakugo. Now, Bakugo's like, huh? Pathetic. As then something goes off in his chest, and basically, he gets a huge pain, a huge pain. I can't believe I forgot the word. But yeah, he just feels intense pain in his stomach. Now, behind him, the tree that was behind him was basically, destroyed, and it was knocked out of its roots. And she's like, huh? And basically, she would begin to jump on Bakugo, and she would start beating him. Now, Bakugo just got destroyed. Now, if you're wondering what that was, basically, she punched Bakugo in the stomach, which it did nothing. Then she used her psychic ability, and basically I would say she pushed air pressure through him. Don't really know how to do it, but whatever. I don't really know much about science. Just say it worked like that. So think of it as Goku's Ultra Instinct air punch or something. So yeah. Basically after beating Bakugo up, she would walk off saying not to fuck with her. And then she would just walk home. Even more angry about her sudden, her sudden information about her growth spurt. But yeah, basically, she would walk home, and now we will be at the end of middle school, with basically the teacher saying he already knows that they all want to be heroes, and he would say we already have two promising students that want to go to UA, Bakugo Katsuki and Izuku Midoriya. Which Izuku, I really don't see a reason why she shouldn't keep the same name, but yeah. Now, basically after this, Bakugo would be like, what? And he would look like that ugly witch midget wants to go to UA. And basically, Deku, she would get angry, and she's like, who the f are you calling a witch? And basically, she would just start to try to attack Bakugo, with the teacher saying, if you do that, then I'll have to, reassign or take your entrance thing out of UA. I don't really know, but yeah. Deku's stopping, and she's like, I got some words for you after school. And Bakugo's like, bring it on, itch, with explosions coming out of his hand. Now, yeah, that was at the end of school. Basically, Bakugo, he would be beat to the blade pole like he was, I would say like a year or two. Basically a year ago, or basically a few months ago. But yeah, after, getting his rocked again, basically her hitting Bakugo in the stomach with her psychic abilities, and basically punching this kid, which Bakugo did build a durability, he did build up his durability, so she actually had to, punch him a lot more. So after, botting Bakugo, she would walk off. Now, yeah. Basically, Deku, she would be walking under the tunnel bridge as she notices that this little boy is being attacked. Now, Deku would put her hands up, and then she would motion come here. You know how people in fighting shows be doing that one thing as they would put their hands out, and they would wave two fingers. So basically, she would do that as the boy would fly out of this villain, and he would start to float in front of her. Now, basically, she's like, who are you? And what's going on here? As she looks over towards the villain, and the villain would introduce himself as a slime villain. So he's like, you got an interesting quirk there. So he would rush towards her, and basically he would jump towards Deku. With Deku saying, get that shit out of here, and smacking this dude so hard that he splatters against the wall. After doing that, Deku's like, huh. She would basically just put the kid down, tell him to go home, and she would begin to walk off. With All Might arriving and saying he is here, and you'd see the kid basically, smiling, as he's like, did this kid just do that to the villain? And Deku's gone. Now, there is no second sight villain attack, so yeah. Actually, yeah, I'll say that there is. So basically, when All Might jumps off, the boy would jump onto him, and All Might would have to land. And he's like, you can't do that, that's dangerous, young man. With the boy asking if he could be a hero without a quirk. Now, basically, All Might would say, not really. You really can't be a hero without a quirk, young man. As he'd go over, patting the kid on the head, and he's like, but don't worry. You could probably become a police officer. And the boy would basically be like, right, he's a little bit sad. Now, when I say boy, I would say like around 5 to 7 years old. So, yeah. But the bottle would drop, and Bakugo would be attacked. With Deku walking during... Actually, no. I would say some frog girl was attacked. Now, Deku's walking down a shopping district, as basically people were like, she's abnormally small, and Deku's getting angry. Now, basically, she would turn a corner, she would see explosions. Actually, no, I'm gonna say that Momo's being attacked. She would see explosions, and actually, not explosions. I guess she would just hear screams. She'd walk over that direction. Hold on, guys. And she would walk over to that direction, seeing the sludge villain, and basically throwing him off of the girl. And she says, as she would spit, basically turning the sludge villain into one little slime ball, as basically she says, get that shit out of here, flinging him into outer space. Not into outer space, but she would just fling him out of, her direction. Now, basically, she's like, God damn, that's annoying. As basically the sludge villain would land. Actually, I'm gonna say that she put him in a bottle before she threw him, and the bottle so happened to just luckily land in a police station. Now, basically Deku, she's just standing there. She would look over, she would see this huge cow. And basically, Deku, she's like, you. As she looks up towards this girl, and this girl's like, can I do something for you? And she's like, as Deku basically just starts yelling at her for no reason. With the girl just, balling up, putting her hands, on her head, and just taking off Deku's insults. You have to be nice to your savior. But, yeah. Now, she's basically Deku, after she got done insulting her, she'd just start to spit on the ground, saying that you're the worst type of person. She'd walk off. With Momo just sitting there like, oh. And basically getting up as her bodyguards would rush over, saying if she's okay. Now, basically Deku, she would walk home, go to sleep, get up in the morning, and then she would start to train. And after that, she would do that every day, a billion times in a row, before we would actually get to after the 10 months of training. Now, Deku's basically floating into UA, as people are saying, why is this child here? With Deku getting angry. Now, basically, she's like, I am not a child. And everyone just turns around saying, yeah. Now, basically, Deku, she would float into the hall, as then she would bump into this girl halfway in. The girl would fall forward, as Deku's like, watch where you're going. And then she looks at the girl, and she's like, another cow. And then she would fly off. And now the Uraraka's like, that's bad luck. And she would get up. Actually, I would say that Bakugo helps her up. And he's like, are you alright? With her saying, yeah. Now Bakugo's like, yeah, I know that little witch. And Deku, she would basically, she would start to feel an itch in her palm. She's like, oh, someone's talking about me, huh? As basically she would fly into the hall, sitting down in her spot. Bakugo saying, yeah, goodbye, as he would sit down in the spot next to her. But the two of them looking at each other, and basically Bakugo looking forward, Deku turning forward as well. Now, they would take the test, as then President Mike would start to, explain to them about the robots, and about the zero pointer after some boy asked about it. As they would go outside to the testing arena. Bakugo splitting off somewhere else, and yeah. Now, yeah, sorry, I don't know, my brain just died for a second there. But basically, Deku, she's floating around in the area as nothing really happens. The teacher says, or basically, yeah, I'll say that President Mike says go, Deku just floats or just flies past everyone. And then she would put her hands up, destroying a few robots in a row. They're all three-pointers. So Deku's basically lifting robots, crushing them, throwing them against each other, or any other type of thing. Now Deku, I'm not going to tell you about that, but yeah. But Deku's basically just doing that, as then something happens. Now, basically, after destroying a couple robots, I would say that she gets around 165 points, or to like 200, but I'll say like 199. Basically, some girl would start to scream. Deku turn around looking towards that area. Now, a bunch of people are running away from it, as basically she would just be like, it's not my business. As basically, she would feel the glare of someone through this weird looking building. Now, this man is starting to get angry at her, as he's like, I swear to God, Izuku. As Izuku's like, it feels like the glare of my old man. As he, shit, I almost fell. But she's like, it feels like the glare of my old man. As she would turn around, looking towards this girl, saying, God. She would put her hands up, and then, actually I'll say that she would rush towards the robot. Something would start to form in her hand. Now Deku would slam it into this robot, as basically she would do a couple of flips before landing on the ground, saying Tubaku Tensai. As a bunch of buildings, hold on guys. But basically Deku screams Tubaku Tensai. As basically a bunch of buildings would start to crash into the zero pointer, as the zero pointer would land, it would be just a giant meteor, or not a meteor, it's just a giant rock. Basically with the combination of buildings and destroyed robots all over. Deku saying, as she's like, scatter. She would crush her hands, and a huge explosion would go off. Deku would just coolly turn around, and she would, weave her, just give her hair a little whiff. And basically, she crosses her arms, and yeah. Now, if you don't know what the Tubaku Tensai is, it's basically planetary devastation. Put that in as a little skit, but whatever. It's basically just planetary devastation. And its Japanese name being Tubaku Tensai. I'm pretty sure I said that right. So, yeah. Now, after doing this, people are like, that's amazing. With Bakugo being like that, he's never gonna... Actually, Bakugo's not even in there. But Bakugo, he would know who would be able to do something like that. Since that thing was so big that it could be seen from other arenas. Which everyone just stopped. They were looking at this thing like, that's amazing, basically. Now, Deku, she would look over towards this girl, as this girl would get up, and she would look over towards Deku. Guys. Now, basically, she would say thank you, or she would scream thank you, with Deku looking at her, and starting to float away. Now, basically, All Might's like, what was that? Basically. Now, other teachers are like, now that's impressive. Great explosive power. And Nezu's like, that girl is truly amazing. She managed to safely put down the pieces of that huge boulder, or whatever that thing she formed was, after she exploded it. Now, that is the essence of a true hero. With basically them talking about how she's such a good candidate for being a hero, and how she could be close to being one of the top-ranking heroes. With basically the man sitting down there, just, smirking, as he's like, yeah. And they're like, oh, why are you so happy, or Midnight would say, why are you so happy, Mr. Hasashi, with Mob being his, his hero name, since he looks so bland. Barely anyone sees him smile, basically. So, basically, he's like, that's my little girl out there. With them saying that is, now we see where she gets that explosive power from. Now, Mom's like, or basically, Hasashi's like, yeah, she inherited it from me. And he would start to smile and laugh. Which they're like, we've never seen him do that before. But whatever. As basically, they would raise their flags, and they would all show 10s. Now, after that, Deku, she would float away, and that is where I'll be ending off this video. I hope you enjoy. My name is Simply Logic, and I am out.